Pokemon Sword and Shield. They're easy games, so I'm gonna Nuzlocke them with a few extra rules. No items, no raids, and no deliberate grinding because I hate myself. Also, I skip the story because I cannot read. My journey starts by making a new profile with a very good name. Then I start the game up, choose English, and set my name to kill me and begin my journey. I chose Grookey because this vegetable told me so. Then I name him Termite, short term for terminating sausages. Then I catch Disappointment and name him Tony the Tiger. Hopefully on the next route I get a Pokemon I will Alvin Weed. But on the second trainer battle, I kind of killed him. Deliberate genocide. And now I fight the annoying child again. And with the power of spamming taunt and being an idiot who is too stubborn to switch Pokemon, Termites dies to Sobble. Can't wait to do this again. After the previous episode where I lost both my starter Termites and my cannon fodder Alvin Weed, I hop on a train with Hop and head to the wild area. I caught a swine update Ice Age 2 where he then was brutally murdered by a Pancham and had my last remaining Pokemon, Tony the Tiger, left at 1 HP. So after that quick reality check, I catch a Pidove and name it Roadkill, as my fox killed it. So recently, with 2 weak under-leveled Pokemon, I challenged a Quagsire, and Tony the Tiger was punished for my idiocy. Refusing to use common sense, I challenged a Krabby with my Roadkill and caught it, naming it after my pet monkey. And before I left the pit of ended Sword and Shield Pokemon Nuzlocke, I caught a Barroach and named it Shockwave, because my famine-loving vegetable said it would become an electric type. Finally leaving Hell, I descended into a deeper and newer one, where I chose my jersey number to be 137. I looked at a random number generator, okay? To end off this part, I released the corpses of the animals left inside my plastic Burger King balls and laughed with my vegetable at all the littering I'm doing. Continuing after I caught Mr. Grabs and Shockwave, I'm forced to challenge the annoying brat once more, this time inside the city of Motorstoke. While not paying complete attention, Roadkill was roadkilled once more, but this time by freaking Rap. After landing on Route 3, beginning to wonder how I'll beat Milo, I catch a Rookity and name it Squire. And then venturing back to uncharted territory in the wild area, I catch a Mudbray and name it Woody Squash. So now I begin to worry about the grandma in the purple suit, so I catch a Raggenrola and name it Portable Grill. I approach Bede, and then the battle begins. After killing his first mon with Woody Squash, he sounds like a Theta and brutally murders Woody Squash with a Psybeam. Next goes Portable Grill, who is also brutally murdered by Psybeam. Then Kathita gets Shockwave to and is then killed. Next sent out by Bede is Hatena, and to fight it, I send out Mr. Krabs, who then died. And finally, to finish Bede off, I send out Shockwave, finally getting out of the mines. I send off Roadkill, Woody Squash, and Portable Grill. After losing 4 Pokemon in the last episode, I had to Route 4 and see multiple children catfishing as Pikachu. Avoiding them as necessary, I encounter an Electrike who almost ends my run. After catching him in an appropriate netball, I name it Balti. And now I enter the Grass Gym. The first battle ended almost instantly with Squire. The second and third battles follow suit, being won single-handedly by my bird. So now I'm supposed to challenge Milo, but by looking at his levels and mine, I make the decision of training, which does break one of my self-imposed rules. So I cancel both the rules for raids and grinding. I start a raid in the new area of a wild area and catch a Blipbug. By accidentally skipping the naming tradition, I am forced to go back to Motorstoke and name it Stone Drip in a Pokemart. Then I also violate another self-imposed law and begin to question my determination. So here I am leveling up my Mons with XP stones and ends up evolving Stone Drip and Squire, which lets me create history by ending an episode on a high note. After completing the metamorphosis for Stone Drip and Squire in the last episode, I start by fighting 3 raid Pokemon to prepare myself for the first gym leader. Expecting at least 2 deaths in the fight, I was shocked at the patheticness of Milo, as I won with Squire alone. After beating Milo, I head to Route 5 and catch Applin, and ironically name it Veggietail, since everybody knows apples are scientifically classified as grass. After leaving the 5th route, I entered the bridge and beat up the Hedgehog team, where I was reminded that I could have a slick-looking fox named Tony the Tiger. After receiving my reward of a bike, I walk over and encounter Hop, who was extremely excited to fight my team. The battle was pretty easy, but I did have a close call with Hop's Drizzile and my Balti. After beating Hop, I needed a break, which means that now we have a second episode in a row, which ends on a high note. After kicking Hop's ass in the last video, I had to hurry and catch an Aeroskooda in the waters, naming the creature King. I then do one last battle and catch a Machop named Bruce. I then head to Nessa's gym, getting extremely confused on these puzzles meant for 10-year-old children. I used the fights in the gym to level up Balti, who would be the MVP of the fight. And then I battled Nessa. Her first 2 Pokemon went down extremely fast. This boosted my confidence considerably, and when Dreadnought was sent out, I expected an easy win. Then Balti gets one-shotted by Max Geyser, which makes me panic a bit, as none of my other Pokemon will be much use in the fight. So next I send out Bruce, who was immediately sent to the red zone. Then there's Squire, who felt the same fate as Bruce. So I switched to Stone Drip, who in this battle was pretty much death fodder, who was sacrificed in order for Squire to survive. And after finding Squire's pecs to be more useless than myself, I sent out King, who killed Dreadnought with Dive. I released the Mons in my Burger King balls and head to the second mine. After beating Ness on the previous part, I go back to the Pokemon nursery and kidnap this poor woman's Toxel. There were tons of names I could have chosen until I remembered a blank, empty promise I made to a poor penguin, so I hesitantly named it Toxic Nerd. But, in hindsight, I realized how upfront that name sounded, so tell me if it's offensive. Anyways, on a higher note, I evolve King and Bruce and enter the second mines, and remind Bede that he's nothing less than a side character. Trying to escape this cave, I encounter Marnie's pet hedgehogs, and reasonably, me and Hop beat them up. So I reach Motorstoke once more, but immediately head to the wild area in search of tart apples for VeggieTales. While searching for this pair, I accidentally find leftovers and immediately feed it to my food-deprived turtle. After beating Bede in the last episode, I head to the inn in Motorstoke and fight Marnie. The battle was extremely one-sided, as my floating fish is able to sweep all of her Pokemon by using Drill Run. I head to Kabu's gym and catch a Sizzlebeat and name it Carolina Reap. The name didn't fit in the character limit, okay? And then I proceed to bash it, Vulpix, Alilic, and all the other inhabitants of this artificial place. Once finished committing mass genocide on the greenhouse's inhabitants, I start my battle with Kabu. The battle went extremely well, as his Ninetales and Arcanine were knocked out by King, until I received the slightest amount of PTSD because of how the battle with Nessa went. I Dynamax my giant fish to an even larger one, and send Kabu's Scorch to about half HP while he does the same. And as Nuzlocke usually go, my next attack completely hits the target, and I get the third gym badge extremely easily. I go to the wild area to reach Hammerlock and end up evolving Toxic Nerd in the process with raids. And to finish the episode off, I receive a tart apple from a loner and evolve VeggieTales into Flapple. After beating Kabu in the previous episode, I enter Route 6 and battle Team Yell with Hop. The battle was extremely easy, but Hop lost his battle and forced me to battle the other one too. I walk into the grass and catch a Doug trio named Ground Glizzy, which is purposely misspelt. I reach Still Inside and am forced to battle Hop. There were no significant problems or close calls, but this level did make me realize I was no longer an over-leveled god. The 3 gym trainers inside Bede's gym had set Squire to low HP on multiple occasions with Katsumori. And now, Bede's fight. Squire sends him on top to about half HP and in return, Squire dies, which proves to be an issue as none of my other Pokemon would be good use against Bede. So, I send out VeggieTales, who kills the Beyblade. Next is Pangoro, who's dealt with by Bruce, and afterwards was Surfetch, who forced me to use Titan as a stall while I healed my team. With the team healed, Surfetch goes down by Bruce. Lastly, we fight Better Bruce, and King is the challenger. After doing minimal damage and having King left in the red zone, I heal and kill the Machop with Dive. To end this part off, I release Squire from my now rotting toy Burger King balls and question my capabilities. After losing Squire and beating me in the last part, I train some more in the wild area and end up evolving Carolina Reap into a Scorch. And then I head over to the worst form of Artist's objective to beat Bede. I knock out his Duosion with 2 poison jabs, which also kills his Gothita. Ponyta goes down to King, and that is also the one who kills his Hatchum. I head to Glimwood and catch an Indeedee named Softy. Now I fight Opal's gym. The 3 trainers were used as XP batteries, and then I started Opal's fight. Weezing goes down to 2 poison jabs, and Mawile goes down to 2 fire wheels. I switch to Toxic Nerd to fight Togekiss and kill it with a single poison jab. I then Dynamax Toxic Nerd to kill the Alcremie with 2 max oozes. After beating Opal's gym in the previous part, I did the east of Hammerlock, and Small Leon attempts to mug me. Before battling him, I level up half my team to level 50 because I thought that was going to be their level. So I realized I was 15 levels above Hop. Sorry, Hop. I head to Route 7 and catch a Galvantula and name it Muffet. Next, I go to Route 8 and kill a Sandaconda that I really wanted. Reach Chichester and only piss off 1 underplayed employee. Now, Gordy. His Barbicle goes down to a few liquidations, and his Shekel and Stun Jordaner go down to the same move. For his gigantic-ass Furnace, I Dynamax King and one-shot it with a Max Quake. After I beat Gordy in the previous part, I fought Hop and Sirchester, and I happily told him that I over-level. I reach Route 9 to encounter a Pelipper while lowering its HP. I end up killing it with Psychic Fangs, but it's okay, I don't need a flying type. I free a man from what I presume is a PETA rally, and I receive his bike as a reward. I fight Marnie to end their Spike Myth, but during the fight I almost had a heart attack as Bruce was attacked and sent to 5 HP. Next, I fought an onslaught of Sims to reach Pierre's gym. I knocked out Scrafty with 2 Vital Flows and defeated his Malamar with Toxic Nerd's Overdrive. I closed combat with King to one-shot his Obstagoon and kill his Skuntank with a Rock Slide, earning me the gym badge. After I beat Pierce in the previous part, I reached Hammerlock and entered Raihan's gym. The first trainer Sliggy proved to be a very formidable opponent to VeggieTales as I kept freaking dodging. Other than that, those trainers were crap. Now I reached Raihan. I get rid of his Flygon with a Dragon Rush and I use Graph Apple on the snake, and with a Vital Throw against his Gigalith, it goes down. Now for his ace, the Skyscraper. Max Wormman lowers HP considerably, and Bruce's Dual Chop does as much as a neglected child's hug. I finally bomb the tower with a second Max Wormman to take it out and win the gym badge. I take the Hammerlock train to Route 10 and kill a Mr. Mime I wanted to catch. I pass the onslaught of trainers and make my way to Winden. After beating Raihan and tracking my way to the final city of Winden in the previous part, I head to the odd-looking stadium and start my semi-finals match with Marnie. I use Dragon Rush to kill a Liepard and use Bruce's Vital Throw to take out the Frog. Kin takes down Scrafty with close combat, and Morpeko goes down to the same. She sends out her G-Max Grimmsnarl, which sends King to low HP, so I send out Titan and kill it with a few Gyro Balls. And after literally 2 seconds, I fight Hop. I start with Bruce to fight his double, and it freaks me out because it has Zen Headbutt. Toxic Nerd fries his bird with Overdrive, and King close combats his Snorlax. I kill the pink urchin with VeggieTales Energy Ball and use a Max Overgrowth on his Dynamax and Teleon to win the fight. After beating up Hop and Marnie in the semifinals, I meet up with the two and Pierce and go play hide and seek with somebody who should be working. After finding him 3 times, we fight and reach Rose Tower. Me and Hop fight through the incompetent security and finally reach Olina, who is preventing us from reaching our dinner mate. Frostess goes down to a Fire Lash and my Lotta goes down to an Energy Ball. I take out Salazzle with Surf, but poison from the Salazzle ends up killing King, which becomes our first death in the wild. Titan uses Bubguy on the Radish and Titan's Max Quake kills the trash. I release King and add Shockwave back to my team, who ends up evolving into a Wish Cache. After beating Olina, Beat interrupts a non-important ceremony and forces me into battling him. A Fire Lash takes out Momao, and Toxic Nerd destroys the Gardevoir with a Poison Jab. The Rapidash comes out and uses Psycho Cut, which gives me a heart attack, and then it died the same way as Gardevoir. Hatterene becomes a giant demon, and Toxic Nerd takes it out with a Max Ooze, winning me the fight. Now, the actual finals begin, and the first fight is against Nessa. Energy Ball almost kills the Gliscopod, which causes it to emergency exit. Barraskewda uses Ice Fang, which freezes King, so we send out Toxic Nerd, who kills it with Overdrive. Overdrive kills the Gliscopod and does the same to the Seeking and the Pelipper. Last is Dreadnought. Unlike the gym fight, it goes down extremely easily. After beating both Beat and Nessa, I began my finals match against Bee, or VeggieTales swooped her entire team with Fly. When she sent out Gigantamax Machamp, I was expecting some challenge, but no, it died to Max Airstream. Next is my fight against Raihan. Torkoal goes down to a Dragon Rush, but not before VeggieTales puts it to sleep. Tornado is taken out by Shockwave's Earthquake, and Flygon is down with an Ice Beam. Goodra is taken down with a few more Ice Beams, and Gigantamax Duraludon was taken with a Max Quake. I begin my fight with the champion until this gentleman starts the apocalypse, so I steal a dog Squeaky Toy and fight the Honorable Rose. His team got swept by Fire Lash. After beating Rose in a fight, I watched Leon heroically throw a basic Pokeball at Eternatus and fails miserably. So now I'm left fighting this Leech, and luckily 2 of Shockwave's Ice Beams are enough to take out Eternatus, until it fulfills one of the biggest cliches ever and forces me and Hop to fight it again. But our Pokemon were being wimps and couldn't attack this endangered species, so Hop put out leftovers from a construction site, and now some dogs kicked its ass, letting me catch it in a lure ball, as all fish bait should be. Now, the climatic fight with Leon. Aegislash is taken out with a Fire Lash after it entered attack mode, and Seismitoad was taken out by a single Energy Ball. Haxorus is sent to the red by an Ice Beam, but Shockwave is sent to half HP by an Outrage, so I switch to Titan, who kills it with a Gyro Ball. Leon sends out Cinderace, who kills Shockwave with a Pyro Ball, so I send out Bruce, who kills it with a Vital Throw. Dragapult goes down for a Dragon Rush, and Gigantamax Charizard is taken out by Toxic Nerd's Max Lightning, finishing the game and completing the Nuzlocke. After becoming champion and preventing the apocalypse, I barge into Hop's house to steal a Charmander, who I name Hot Lizard. I go to the Stumbling Wheel to see Hop, who tries to battle me. His double kills himself with Recoil, and Corviknight goes down to a Fire Lash. Inteleon is killed by an Overdrive, and Snorlax to a Zen Headbutt. Kramer goes down like Inteleon, and Pincurchin goes down the same way, winning me the fight. I forget to heal before the Yelpers, so this haircut kills VeggieTales. So I go to his team. I reach the Focus Center and release VeggieTales while adding Eternatus to my team. So then I go to Sonya's lab, and her fingers go Super Saiyan. She tells me to go to Turffield, and I oblige, where I take out a Radish. After I got rid of the Radish in Turffield, I go around to each gym to help out the incompetent gym leaders, and after killing a turtle and a fish, I make my way back to Sonya's lab where I counter these 2 bozos. So I kill them, look at their eyeballs! I got rid of a Conkeldurr at Beast Gym and a Haxorus at Raihan's, which this guy could have handled. One of the last gyms was Speeds, and he already killed one, so he forced me to fight him. Overdrive takes out Mawile and a Poison Jab for Gardevoir. The same move takes out Rapidash and his ace Hatterene. After beating him, he accepts me as champion, which he should have done after I beat his ass in the semifinals, but oh well. After fighting Bean and defeating the Dynamax Pokemon in 6 of the 8 gyms, I head to Gritty's gym and take out a Gigalith, which is the last giant Pokemon I was forced to deal with. After taking out the Gigalith, I head to the power plant under Hammerlock Gym and fight Swordward, who ends up killing Shockwave, so I kill all of his Pokemon. I head to the roof and was forced to fight Zamazenta, who kills Titan because I don't know how sturdy works, so I kill it with Dynamax Cannon. Zacian pops up and I completely cheese the fight with a Master Ball, naming it Good Boy. Smiley face. After I got the Boxer legendaries and completely domesticated it, I head to the Slumbering World to meet up with Hop, who forces me to battle him. I take out his double with a Sacred Sword and take out his Snorlax with the same move. Mid-fight, Hop talks about his personal problems, but I wasn't listening because I'm not his therapist. He sends out a Pink Urchin, which once again narrows down to Sacred Sword, and an Overdrive takes out his Inteleon. Corviknight goes down to a Fire Lash, and I take out his dog with it too. The Convicts, the Emo, and the GPS arrive, and this guy was about to ruin Hop's monologue, but it's okay because this is the unscripted.